Sup, guys? I know we've all seen the news that Jailton Almeida has supposedly been cut from the UFC. Still not 100% sure if that's true or not. But for the purpose of this video, it doesn't really matter. What we're here to talk about is his manager's announcement that he is supposedly making the move back down to light heavyweight following his loss to Koniev. Am I the only one who thinks that would be a massive mistake? I'm going to talk in the context of the UFC's heavyweight and light heavyweight divisions, but the point stands regardless. The heavyweight division is so unskilled, right? I think the experiment of a elite level jiu-jitsu grappler at light heavyweight, moving up to heavyweight, giving up a size disadvantage, and just knowing, you know what, fuck it, I'm more skilled than all of you, you're all slow blobs, I'm actually going to have a lot more success here than I would at light heavyweight. I think that experiment went exceedingly well. Look, I know he's lost his last two fights, but before then, he was 8-1, with his only loss being the Curtis Blades loss. And yet, that's a loss, right? He got TKO'd, but the round before that, he set the record for most heavyweight takedowns in a round in UFC history. And he did it against Curtis Blades, I think it was an NCAA champion, or maybe he was a JUCO national champion. Either way, right? One of the best wrestlers at heavyweight. This guy was just a takedown machine. He would get to those legs with those singles and doubles faster than the heavyweights wouldn't even have started reacting before he'd grabbed their leg and pulled it out from under them, right? He got the takedowns with such ease. The Volkov loss, he needs to change two things, right? The Volkov loss, yeah, look, that was unfortunate, but it's his own fault. He had no issues getting the takedown. It was Chimaev-esque, the way he would just take him down immediately whenever he wanted it. He unfortunately just sort of forgot he was in an MMA fight and thought he was in a jiu-jitsu match and simply refused to do ground and pound. So if he would have made that one tweak, we're talking about him getting a title shot at heavyweight. The Koniev loss, look, that's a little bit more demoralizing because he genuinely just couldn't get the takedown. But that's one fight. This is one time we've seen him unable to get the takedown at heavyweight. It looks like when he was in there, he was struggling with the size quite a bit. And look, based off of this decision, we can probably deduce that that was the case and that he felt like he was too small in there. But he was the fastest striker. I know he didn't win any rounds on the feet. I thought there was an argument for round 3. But he didn't win any rounds on the feet. But he was the fastest striker. If he could improve his striking, Koniev is a winnable fight. And if he were to strike him more, get Koniev going backwards, get him leaning backwards to avoid some of these shots, that's going to help set up his takedowns against Koniev. The only man in the heavyweight division that I don't see a clear path to victory for Almeida is Tom Aspinall. And that does suck for him. And I see a clearer path to victory against anyone in the light heavyweights roster than I would against Aspinall. So from that perspective, if your one goal is to just be champ and be the best, yeah, maybe light heavyweight is the move. But the light heavyweights, I mean, he could get to the heavyweights league so easily. The light heavyweights are going to sprawl faster. You know, they're not small guys. They still carry power. They're going to be way faster strikers. We don't know how well Almeida can take a punch. And if I were to guess, I'd say not particularly well. I think, yes, whilst there's a clearer path to victory against, light heavyweights because Tom Aspinall's not in that division, I think it's going to be a lot harder to get to a title fight at light heavyweight than it would be at heavyweight. Volkov was a winnable fucking fight. He threw that away. He was a fight away from a title shot. I just think there's no point panicking because of one fight that didn't go well. Koniev, in my opinion, is the only fight that didn't go well for him. I think there was positives to take from the Blades loss and positives to take from the Volkov losses. So, look, what I think's happened is he's been in there once where he couldn't get the takedown because of a size disadvantage, and he's decided, look, that is my proof that I'm too small for heavyweight. If I was his coach, I'd be saying, look, for a guy like Koniev, we just need to outstrike him. The one guy I don't think he can beat is Aspinall, but that's one guy. The guy's got eye issues. The guy could blow out his ACL. He's talked about going to boxing. Maybe his odds of beating the light heavyweight champ is better than his odds of beating Tom Aspinall, but his odds of getting to the dance, his odds of getting a title fight at heavyweight, I think are way, way higher. So for that reason, I think it's a mistake. Now, if we're talking about the heavyweight and light heavyweight divisions outside of the UFC, I still don't think he should go down to light heavyweight, because I don't think there's any heavyweights outside of the UFC that are going to cause issues defending the takedown against him. You know who's out there? Francis Ngannou. I'd sign up. I'd watch that fight. Would I pick Francis? 100%. But, that's a big fight for him. So it's a bigger fight than any light heavyweight. Who, Nemkov? I don't know if I'd pick Almeida to beat Nemkov. But, yeah. Look, I'd sign up for Francis versus Almeida in a second. Maybe that's the fight to make. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. I think moving to light heavyweight because you ran into one heavyweight you couldn't essentially take down at will is a mistake, because I don't think you're going to be able to take down every light heavyweight at will the way you have been at heavyweight. I think the experiment of you going up to heavyweight was actually a great success, and I don't think you push the panic button and change your weight class based off of one fight where you couldn't get the takedown. It's just my thoughts. Let me know what you think. If you liked and subscribed, I would be fucking stoked.